folks, today I'm going to be showing you how to download and install MC Command Center. Just MC Command Center, no other different mods or anything like that. This is just purely going to be MC Command Center. Now, to me, this mod is like the bread and butter of The Sims 4. I can't play The Sims 4 without this mod on the game anymore because it just adds so many things that to me the game feels like it's lacking, so this kind of makes up for it. So first of all, what I'm going to do is I would suggest that on your desktop that you start a new folder and just name it Save Backup. Now I've already got one there, so I'm not going to do another one. Call it Save Backup. Now in your, if I'll show you that again, so in the bottom here you'll probably have like a little folder thing there. You need to open that up and go to Documents, and then you need to go to Electronic Arts and The Sims 4, and here you will see a lot of different folders in here. Now I'll just ignore the rest of these folders because we don't need those at the moment. We literally just want the mods one and we want the saves folder. So what I do is I just highlight them all by pressing Ctrl and A, and then I press Ctrl and C, which copies them. Go over to this and I do Ctrl and V, and all that does is just I replace the files in that destination, and that just creates a backup for all my saves. So if anything goes wrong with you installing the mod, or it crashes your game, or you can't start it, at least you've still got your saves backed up. It's always a good idea to back up your saves. I do this periodically, so every time there's a new update for MC Command Center, I will always back up my saves. Sometimes if I've had a few crashes in the game, I'll back up my saves, just that kind of thing, just to kind of keep, make sure that you've got them there. So the next one we will need is the mods folder. So this should already be here, I think. I don't think you have to add it, or you might have to put in a mods folder. If you do, just make sure you create a new folder and you call it mods, M-O-D-S. So you just need to create a folder called mods, M-O-D-S, if it's not already there. I can't remember if it is already there or if you have to create one. Either way, there you go. So this is where all your mods are going to go. Now mine's a bit messy at the moment, so for the sake of this video, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go through and I'm going to delete the MC Command Center. So you need this resource, this one for your mods to actually work. So if you go onto the interwebs and just type in Resource.cfg even. I think it should already be there, but if it's not, you can download it. So what I'll do is I will put a link in the description to where you can find that file if it's missing. But yeah, that file should be there. Don't delete it because you need that to stay there. So next, what we're gonna do is, I'm just gonna move this over, is we need to go to Deadpool, which is the person who has actually made this mod. If you go to MCC downloads, and then usually the latest ones are already on here, but if you can't find them on here, then click the Patreon page, because usually the Patreon page is updated before the actual website, so I tend to get them from here, but it doesn't really matter, they're both exactly the same mod, it's just one's on a website and one's on a Patreon page, so we'll do it from the Patreon page. So all you need to do is just click these, so 7.1 release, make sure you get the latest release. I didn't actually realise there was a latest one because I only had the 7 one at the moment. So you go to all modules, so first off you want that, find your mods folder and save it in there, and then if you click the other one it should already be on the mods folder, so just save that one in there, and then you just need to come into here. I just control and highlight both of them and extract here. There you go, and that's that. that is all of the scripts. Everything in there is should be thing. I usually leave these here so I remember which mod I'm on, so and I know when a new one comes out whether I've got that one or not. But you don't need to keep those, you can delete those. If you want to as well, you can put these into a MC Command Center folder, but just be aware that the mod folder will only read mods that are up to two folders deep. So if you put these in a folder, it'll be able to read it, but if you put them any further than that in other folders, it won't be able to read it. So I just tend to leave it like this. I mean, it's up to you. I'm a very messy person, so for me this is fine, but it's up to you whether you want to do that. So obviously we've done the save backup, so everything should be perfectly fine, and now you can start your game. So once you start up your game, as long as you've got the mods, which I'm going to show you how to enable mods and script mods in your game. Once you have done that, you will know that your mods have been installed correctly when you get this screen, and in the top it will say MC Command Center, MC Woohoo mods, and then underneath it will list all of the scripts. So you'll know that it's definitely been installed then. If you go into game options and you go to other, here you go, there's just these two options here: enable custom content and mods, script mods allowed. Make sure they are both ticked, apply changes. If that's not already on, you will need to restart your game. Once you've restarted your game, you'll get that little pop-up window which will show you all your mods and stuff that you've got installed. So there's just a couple of things that you need when you've got MC Command Center. So for instance, this house doesn't have a PC. Right, so we've got a PC. So there's a couple of ways that you can access the mod. So the first one is just by clicking on your character, and you can go into the MC Command Center window. Now you'll come up with this option here, and this is basically just related to this sim. So this isn't the world, this isn't any of the settings on this, this is literally this sim. So what you can do here is you can go into the cheats menu, you can increase the funds, you can cheat the sim info, such as like skill cheats, mood buff control, expansion cheats, occult. Obviously you can make them an occult, you can increase the points, you can make them happy, complete their aspirations. So these kind of things are good if you're interested in doing like proper story mode. So if you want to tell a story in The Sims, and for that story you need the sim to have completed their aspiration, you can go in and you can do that without actually having to go through the motions of doing that, of actually completing the aspiration. So you can go you can start them on a pregnancy if that's part of your story. Obviously you can modify the house in cars. You can do sim commands, so you can set her age, for instance. So I'm going to put her as a young adult, and there we go, she's back to being a young adult. You can maintain your sim you can delete her, you can set a gender preference, you can swap gender, so we can swap her, and all those kind of things. This is just purely to do with this particular sim. Now if you click on the mailbox, you will see the MC cheats, and this one is usually to do with like world cheats, so sim ends PC household cheats, deletion cheats, so you can delete all sims, delete all homeless sims, delete unplayed sims, and vice versa until you've gone down the list. You can activate household cheats, so you can fill the needs of the household, fill the needs of the current lot, clear active household flags, because you can flag sims with different things. Let's go back and I'll show you. So for instance, if you flag this sim as freeze career, so let's freeze her career, so she'll never develop in her career. So now if we were to go back to the mailbox and we were to go to active household cheats, we can clear active household flags, and any flags that you've put on that particular sim will be deleted. You can change the world time. So basically how this one works is you pick a number between 0 and 6. I think that 0 is Sunday and 6 is Saturday. I think. So for instance, it's Thursday today, so that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, so that would be 4. So if I do 5 and then I do like 10, it should take us to Friday, I think. No, it's taken us to Tuesday. I don't really understand how that one works, but I just use it from time to time if I need to make the time go a bit faster. Got seasons cheat, so you can change the season here, so we can make it fall instead, and that basically relates to kind of like the world and how you want things to change in the world. Now the computer one, this one's a bit more tricky. In the computer here, this is where you have all of the settings, and this affects all of your games as well, all of your save files. So whatever you change in here will be changed across all of your save files. There is a way that you can make it so that it only changes one save file, the save file that you're on, and that when you open up a new save, it will be completely clean for you to start again. Now, it's never bothered me that it's across all of my save files because I like to have them all the same anyway. I've got like a certain set of settings that I like to play with, and it doesn't matter that it's across all of them, basically. So first things first, MCCC settings. So this is kind of like, these are the things that I play with the most. So you can do relationship settings. You can change the percentage that your friendships and your romantic relationships decay. You can make sure that that people don't get deleted in the world. So every so often in the game, if you've got any unplayed Sims that are not living in any houses, the game will go through and cull those people, which is the EA relationship culling. So it'll just get rid of those people so that it can create new people. So now you can bypass that if you want. I usually leave it on EA because I'm not that bothered. If I want to be, if I want to keep somebody in the world, I make sure that I flag them as played so that they don't get deleted. Or you can go for the MC cleaner relationship culling, or you can bypass. So I usually tend to leave that one, and I don't do anything with the decayed percentage because they never seem to bother me. I never feel like people fall out of friendships and stuff like that. Now you can do allow teen parenting, which usually I will have that enabled. Breakup settings, so you can do breakup, you can choose to move out the sim that's broken up, so you can move out the male sim, move out the female sim, or move out a random sim. I tend to have it on random. You can move the children with the breakup as well, so it specifies whether a sim should take their children with them when they move out due to a breakup. It is percent chance the children will move out, so it can be set to 0 for never or 100 for always. So things like this I just tend to put on 50%, and then it's just 50%. It's like they either do or they don't. The next one that I tend to play with is the money settings. So here you can do pay child support. If a child is not living with both parents, this setting can allow money to be removed from or paid to the active sim household. No child support payments or earnings will happen during the regular billing cycle. So you can choose here, you can do married only, unmarried only, or none, or all. Now I usually set this to all, and then basically what will happen is if your sim has a child and then their dad or mum moves out, they will pay a percentage of child support to you, to your active sim, for the child, basically, just like in real life, I guess. And then you can change the percentage. It's automatically set to 1%, but what I do is I just put it up to 5%. You can change the bills percentage, not something that I ever do. You can make sure that everybody gets inheritance. So when a sim dies, this setting determines whether or not they leave any of their household funds to their spouse or children, depending on the type of sim that is dying. So I just set that to all. Basically, every so often you might get a bit of inheritance from somebody in the world. It occasionally happens. This one's already set to enabled because obviously you want it to go to the spouse first. And then this one, the gameplay settings. Oops, nope, sorry, I meant to do set age span duration. So this is one that I always make sure that I change. So basically, babies are set on 2, and I change it to 3. Toddlers are on 7, and I keep that at 7. children are at 13, but I changed that to 10. Teens are at 13, but I changed that to 12, just because I get a little bit bored with them being... they seem to be teens for so long, and they don't need to be, because teens is no different to being a young adult. The only difference is obviously that Command Center means that you can make them parents. That's the only difference. So this one I tend to change to 50, but obviously this is me. You can do whatever you want, but I'm just showing you what you do. So 40 days for an adult, and then for an elder I like to do 30 days, and then they can still die before that time, but it just gives us time to, personally for me, it just gives you time to actually play with your Sims and actually get some time out of them. Like I feel like people die too quickly, and then you don't get a chance to play with them very much. Right, so the next one that I tend to, obviously if you download this, just go through each one and you can decide what you want. I don't tend to play it with anything other than the top one, the pregnancy one, and the woohoo one. So we'll go for this one first. So this is all about like the selection of who's pregnant and stuff, so I don't tend to do those ones. You can change obviously the pet pregnancy settings, other marriage, adoption settings. So basically you can set it so that people will will be adopted during the world and stuff, and you'll see pop-ups in the corner of your game saying so and so has been adopted by so and so. And then there's the woohoo one. So this is the main one that can affect a lot of different things in the game. So allow teens, so I do enabled. You can obviously, depending on what you want, you can change these. So you can do elder try for a baby, I just have that disabled. You can allow people to try for a baby like autonomously as well. Show on menus as normal. When disabled, no try for baby menu options visible. No strings woohoo, so you can do that one. So when enabled, woohoo and try for a baby can be attempted without romantic relationship existing or being created between Sims. So basically that means that people can autonomously woohoo without even being in a relationship. You can, I mean, this is a bit of an odd setting to me. Allow family, basically you can allow romantic interactions between family members. I think that's gross. So I don't do that one. Allow polygamy, that one I usually do enabled, and then go back, and then you've got your risky woohoo percentage here. So this is the one that kind of changes a lot in the game. I usually set this to 10%. So basically, whenever your Sims do a normal woohoo, there is a 10% chance that they could become pregnant from that woohoo. Now this usually means that at some point, if you think about it, for every 10 woohoos they do, one of them could potentially be get them pregnant. So that's the way you got to think about it. So if you obviously adjust the percentage depending on how often you want that to possibly happen. Use fertility, I enable that one. Try for baby percentage, I usually, because at the moment it's on 80% as a default, I usually put that to 50%. Just because I don't know, I just feel like 80% is just a bit too high, so I like to do 50%. And then these other options I don't really do much with. So that is the basics of how I play with MC Command Center. Obviously there's tons of other options and tons of different things that you can do, so you can change so much stuff in the game, but they're the basic ones that I like to play with. So obviously, your game is your game, you can do whatever you want in the game. I hope that this helped a little bit with how to kind of set up, get the mod in the game and some of the options. You'll have to let me know in the comments if there's anything else you want me to look at with the MC Command Center, or if there's something that confused you that you didn't quite understand. Now, if you change any of the settings in this mod, you will need to restart your game before they will take effect. So just make sure that you save and exit, and once you restart back up your game, all those settings will be in place for you to to play in your game. And obviously what you can do is you can play around with them, you can change them until you've got your perfect settings. I will warn you that when a new update comes out to the MC Command Center, you will have to reset all those settings again. But again, it's not a difficult thing to do. So yeah, I hope that helped anyway. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Hey folks, thank you for watching the video today. If you liked what you saw, don't forget to give the video a thumbs up. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, and in between videos you can find me on Twitter at EmmGeeYT. Thank you for watching today, and I will see you on the next one.